But, sometimes it got a little crazy. And, to be honest with you, there were times when I really just worried about the safety of my house and the safety of her.
I am so excited to chat with you, Dorinda, all about Ultimate Girls Trip. I watched the first few episodes and it is so good. It totally lives up to the hype.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I think it's really good old-fashioned. I mean, listen, these are 8 girls, strong characters individually and powerhouses as a group. And you're going to see that. And that comes out in many different ways, as you're going to see. Mm-hmm. I just am very excited about it. We are all going to have to go through our crucifixion, because what would the show be without it? We're going to all have to climb the cross and have that bad episode. But I'm here for it. I don't think it would be a real show. I mean, they took 8 girls at the end of COVID and locked them in Bluestone Manor. No disrespect to Ultimate Girls Trip 1, but they were at a hotel, a resort. There was no getting away from it here, okay? Morning, noon, and night, it was Bluestone Manor. So I'm excited. And listen, they got an extra character in Bluestone Manor. I had no idea. I think we've spoken of this before, but Bluestone Manor is just beloved.
It is. Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. I mean, what was it like? How is this different than filming Housewives? Obviously, you're all hunkered down for, 8 days, nowhere to go.
Because first of all, when Bravo came up here, we would only film 2 nights, 3 days. Mm-hmm. Totally different. Number 2, it was a smaller group usually, and I knew the women really well. And number 3, it was 8 days. Right after COVID. I have never in my life had anyone stay in my house, especially that large group of girls, for 8 days. And I was really the host from morning to nighttime. I was responsible for these girls. It wasn't like if, my friends come up and they check in and they go to their room and they do their own thing. This was on. And what I loved about it, some more than others, that people were really in it to, have the experience and make a great show.
Yeah. And you really did make it nice. You always do with your one.
Well, I didn't always, but that would be expected because, people come and it's a lot.
Yeah, no, definitely. How did you decide the rooms? Who got which room?
That was tough, and I pre-assigned them, but I really tried to, I gave Phaedra the fish room because I wanted to get her opinion as a strong woman. I knew she'd give me her opinion. She loved it. Yeah. She loved it. And I put Eva by her because I knew they knew each other. That's how you start. You start with one room and build it out. There's always someone that's not happy because this isn't a hotel. It's a house.
Yeah.
I love when people are like, well, I mean, I wish it were a hotel, but it's not. It's a house. So you kind of do your best. And I just did my best.
You did your best and you did a great job. A lot of people thought Brandi was going to be the biggest drama starter coming into that. Who were you kind of on the fence about when you first started?
Well, it wasn't I was on the fence. I just was, a little bit like, oh my God, I have people coming for 8 days. First of all, I think everybody was a little bit weird after COVID, right? We all were a little isolated. So I was like, how's this going to work? Because, my life was sort of like hanging out with Hannah, seeing my parents and my friend that was staying with me. I thought, God, there were certain people I knew better than others. And I was just like, God, I hope they're going to be happy. It's a big responsibility. I was lucky enough to know Tamara and Jill and Brandi. I had never met Taylor. So can you imagine? She comes all the way here from the West Coast, not knowing what to expect. Yeah. I don't know how she's going to feel about it. I'd met Phaedra once on Watch What Happens Live. I didn't know how she was going to feel about it because remember, they're coming from very different parts of the country. Mm-hmm. And New England is a very unique place, and Bluestone Manor is a very unique place, and it's very self-contained. And, we're in the country. I mean, the Berkshires, are incredible. It's got the Boston Symphony. It's got, all kinds of Shakespeare and Company, Red Lion Inn, the Marivelle. But as far as Bluestone Manor, it's on 18 acres, and it is what it is. It's my country house in the country.
So beautiful.
I have a love and appreciation for it, but I was hoping and praying that everybody else would get it.
Right. And, some people didn't. Obviously, Vicki did not get it. Were you surprised that she had so much to say about Bluestone Manor?
What I was surprised about is that when I watched the first episode, is it started before she even got to the house. Mm-hmm. So I took it, and there's nothing worse than when you try so hard. I mean, what people don't know is my starting setup of this getting it ready was about 8 days, 9 days before. Production showed up like almost 8 days, 9 days before. There was about over 106 people here.
Wow.
It was a much bigger production. There were drones, there were porta potties, there were command stations, there were COVID places. There was its own electrical unit because they were blowing out the electricity because there was so much. There was its own cell phone. So, me just helping to work with them to get it ready was almost like its own production, right? So by the time people got at the house, I was already sort of working for 8 days, but I really wanted to do everything I could to welcome them with the gift baskets and personalize it. And to sort of from right off the bat to have her just sort of not be enthusiastic about it was really like heartbreaking because it's so unexpected, because all the other girls, they really, even if they didn't feel it, you felt like they all kind of put their best foot forward.
Right. Yeah. What did you make of Vicki's latest thing about what she said about Bluestone Manor, or like what, kind of going back and forth about what was said in the press? What was your kind of reaction to that?
Well, I think her timing's terrible because, she said it last week and now people are going to see the first 2 episodes and realize I don't know about you, but when they did those opening shots.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And people get to see Bluestone Manor, I think now in a light they never saw it. Because remember, Bravo would do great shots, but it would be more like microfilming in the living room, in the dining room. And it was November and the pool was closed and there was no maze and there was no outdoor stuff. Yeah. That I think, the expansive view, you could see it's an estate, it's a manor. It's like really is. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be difficult now because Bluestone Manor's loved. It's like going after Disneyland.
It is. I mean,
going after the Disney castle,
Right. Well, I mean, you're right, because she did say that, she never said anything bad about your home, but she does in the first couple episodes. So yeah,
she did say, that we got to back up on that. She says, listen, I don't like the things you're gonna like. It's an old house in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do. That sentiment is not positive. Would you say that?
No.
Even if you didn't like it, would you say that?
No.
All right. She opened, now did I clap back? Absolutely. I mean, there's different tastes. People like different things. I don't, particularly from what I've seen of what she does. And that's why I said in Puerto Vallarta, I wouldn't like that lifestyle. But I wouldn't have said anything unless she said something about my house. This house is historic. This house was, built in an era where, they can't even make houses like this. It's decorated to an inch of its perfection. I mean, Wall Street Journal has been here. Architectural Digest has been here. So this is not my opinion. This is the opinion of many. Yeah. So to try to bring it down to make yourself feel better, or to try to bring it down to make me look bad, or to make Bluestone Manor look bad, I just think is very malicious.
Right. Yeah. Do you feel like she's jealous at all?
Well, someone said something today on an interview that, because she said that she wrote me like 5,000 texts and left me all these voicemails and stuff. But listen, they said maybe she's so used to being the queen bee on the show, she didn't want to let you think that you were the queen bee, right? It's a lot. Listen, I am very blessed. I have a lot. I have this beautiful home here. I have a beautiful life in New York City, a great apartment there, and I don't know. I just think maybe she came up here at that time and wasn't very happy, and maybe it was all too much. And I found it very weird that she keeps referring to my house here as something that was gifted to me. I mean, my husband died. It's not a gift.
Not a gift, no.
No, that's not a gift. That's not how you refer to this. I would much prefer for him to be here with me, enjoying it like our original intent. It's not like Richard's like, well, I want to give you a gift and I'm going to, bury myself. That's terrible to say. Yeah. So the whole sort of referencing it, old, in the middle of nowhere, gifting it, it just brought a very negative tone to it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that she was in a bad headspace because of her breakup, or do you?
Yes, but then, as my mother said, if you don't want to be somewhere and you're not going to be good company, stay home.
Yeah.
My mother always said that. If you're not going to be good company, stay home.
Mm-hmm. Do you think she should have sat it out? Because she would the breakup, I guess, happened
in
the day
retrospect,
before, so.
I really don't think she wanted to be here. And I don't think this is just the first 2 episodes. I think it's sort of the sentiment throughout. The other girls really were here to play and here to, do all they could and put their pound of flesh. And I don't know. I just don't think she really was interested in it.
Yeah. What was your reaction the first episode with Brandi and Taylor kind of going back and forth? Brandi and Taylor have this moment at dinner, which, with Brandi saying that, it was the hardest year of her life when Taylor's husband passed away. I think it's going to be a little shocking moment for a lot of people.
Well, yes, but but what I was really excited to see, and I think what the viewers are going to be excited to see, is you got to remember, we left off with Taylor in Beverly Hills. She was broken. Her husband had committed suicide. She was worried about Kennedy. And then she disappeared. Yeah. And the great thing that you're going to see about Taylor is grown up now, and Taylor is strong, and Taylor is happy. And and Taylor is out there speaking about women and abusive relationship and openly speaking about it with confidence that I think the audience is going to love. Taylor has got her voice.
Yeah.
She's not that weak, cowering woman anymore. And it is beautiful to see. And it was beautiful to not beautiful, but it was interesting to see them go up against each other because Taylor's not putting up with it. Mm-hmm. What may have been an easy victim back then isn't anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are going to be overly thrilled to see that.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, how was your relationship with Brandi this season? Because it seems like the two of you hit it off in the beginning, but maybe things get a little rocky later on.
Well, Brandi, Brandi just really loves to party it up. I mean, she made a statement somewhere, I like sober Dorinda, not drug Dorinda. And it's like, well, you were never sober up here. So every night was a huge party to the point where you'd either pass out or you didn't show up for the next night's dinner. So I don't know what her reference point is, but I don't care. See, unlike other people, I don't weaponize those things to make myself feel better. Of course, we're all going to drink up here. What else are you going to do up at Bluestone?
Right.
And I was fine with it. But, sometimes it got a little crazy and, a little too much. And to be honest with you, there were times when I really just worried about the safety of my house and the safety of her.
Did anything get broken at Bluestone Manor during the season?
God.
Out of all the seasons and episodes that have been filmed at your home, do you have a favorite memory or favorite moment in Bluestone?
Well, I think, I used to love more than one. I used to love when the girls would come up for the holidays.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was not only excited for the girls to come up, but I was excited for the audience to see it. Those to me were my best episodes when they came up for Halloween. Mm-hmm. I think that's when I really honed my skills for being sort of like an entertainer and a person that loves people. And I know, people really love that side of me. I think they still do.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Any word on, obviously New York Housewives?
Oh, and you know what? I think we're all just waiting because, they made the announcement and now we're all just sort of in limbo waiting. But as I said to someone before, I think, it's very important, this next step, especially with the reboot of the New Girls. Like, they got to get it right. But I am very excited. Listen, I'd be very excited with Legacy. And I think the people will love it because everybody loves the old school girls, right? But I think it's going to be so interesting because I don't know that anymore. Because remember, I have a 28-year-old daughter. What is a 30-something woman in the world looks like now? Diversity, sexuality, raising children, living in a world of technology, living in a world where a lot of them are the main breadwinners or they're single. Like, who is that woman? As I said to someone today, you got to remember when I had Hannah in London, no cell phones, no almond milk, plant-based milk, no vegan, no allergies. Like you just sort of like, okay, you know, and I came from a very traditional upbringing. So I was like, oh, well, my husband goes to work. He's an investment banker and I stay home and take care of Hannah. You know what I mean? The new woman, and we are definitely in the age of the woman. I mean, there was no doubt. The woman, you know, I said to someone the other day, clearly the universe is a woman. And I always thought that, but now it is screaming, watch out. Give a woman a little power, a little knowledge. I was at Hannah's college the other day, and I looked out the sea of student body, and it was mostly women, women of color, women, you know, from all over the world. Like, watch out. And I want to see that woman in the world. So I'm excited. And I think they're really working hard to get that right.
And I'm sure that they will. And I can't wait to see it. Dorinda, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time.
You are the best. I love you.
I know. I love you too.
Such a beautiful person.
Thank you. So are you. And I'm so excited for everybody to see these episodes. It's going to be so good. I love it.
Hey.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly Magazine.